All right, today's topic is going to be about an audiobook that I'm creating that will help you learn Japanese. So, this has been a project of mine for a while actually. I think since November of last year, I think is when I started not really working on it, but like thinking about it more and like taking a bit of notes while I interacted with basically Japanese service workers. So this book came about because of two things really. The first one is despite being in Japan last year for basically 6 months, I still have a lot of trouble like understanding and communicating to service workers or staff in restaurants, train stations, bus, all that stuff. So I was like, why do I still have this like this much trouble with interacting with them and talking with them and understanding what they're saying? And the obvious answer is because like Japanese is a very difficult language when it comes to those things, because like depending on what situation you're in, they will use like a completely different set of Japanese, like polite Japanese, basically like keigo, and it's very different from casual speech or even just regular polite speech as well. So I journeyed out on a quest basically to make as many notes as possible while trying to make sure I don't cross this street and get hit by a car. Okay, we're good. So I try to make as many like notes as possible while I'm in like restaurants or doing stuff in the train station, asking people for help and all that stuff. And basically, this audiobook is going to be a collection of those types of conversations, the essential Japanese that you need while you're traveling in Japan. And for me, it's a bit more than travel. Like I basically stayed here for a combined total of almost 9 months now. And I feel like I've definitely learned a lot from just the interactions I've had with customer service and all that stuff. So I created dialogues basically to help with understanding what people are saying and how to properly like talk with them, communicate, because there are actually places where they don't really understand English that well, and that's completely fair because this is Japan. Like, I don't think you should expect every place to somehow be able to speak English. I think that's like an expectation that some foreigners have, some travelers have, and I think it's not really a fair one. Like, they're gonna prefer to want to speak in their language because this is their country, like Japan. So I think it's really up to the traveler to take the responsibility of learning the language of which country you're traveling to, if you want the full experience, I guess. So that's sort of my, I guess, pitch for the audiobook. Right now it's still in the works, and I'm basically just, talking about it because it's finally moving in terms of progress, and it is kind of the next challenge. I'm planning on trying to finish this thing probably within 30 days, I'd say, from this point. So basically by the end of May, I want it done. That's a bit more than 30 days, but I want to just talk about this because we're finally done with the whole YouTube challenge, and we've been kind of out of it, to be honest. Like out of it in terms of we haven't really started to do other things very much. And that's, it's totally fine. I needed a break from how difficult that YouTube challenge was to make a video every single day for my main channel. It wasn't like insanely difficult or anything like that, but it definitely took a lot out of me. It's not something I was used to. And the results were not great either, so that definitely demoralized me for a bit. But after resting, after just like, doing my own thing, for just hanging out with friends and seeing places in Tokyo, I feel good again. So it's been, I think, like a whole week basically since I haven't really done too much with my projects. But after this week, I feel good. So I'm ready to finally announce, or at least talk to the camera, tell the camera that we're moving forward with the next project, and this is it, the audiobook. Also, earlier I said there were like two reasons why, I'm making an audiobook. The the choice of the fact that it is an audiobook is the second one. Like, I don't know, I didn't really explain that well, but either way, back then when I was learning Japanese, like before I traveled to Japan, I used the Pimsleur program basically. There's like, I think 5 levels of Pimsleur, and I did 1 through 4, which took a long time actually. I remember I would repeat it quite a lot, but basically Pimsleur is like a program where it's an audiobook and you listen and it's shadowing basically. So whatever they say, you say as well. And I thought it was helpful, but the stuff that's in Pimsleur is kind of useless. Not all of it, obviously. There are some useful phrases for sure, but the majority of it is like stuff I've never used ever. So I'm kind of like, okay, shadowing is very useful. Like the technique, the method of practice is useful, like shadowing, but you gotta have useful phrases that go with the practice. So that's what I'm planning on doing for my audiobook. It's like basically inspired by my experience with learning Japanese as well. Like basically it's shadowing. So you're gonna get a lot of experience with just saying certain phrases that are actually used basically in every interaction you're gonna have while you're traveling to Japan, because most of it's gonna be like interacting with service workers and staff, and not exactly like casual speech. I think I'm good at casual speech, but my interactions with staff and service workers is like not great, so I'm trying to get better with that. Also, I saw this little, I think, duck. They have really interesting, like, colored, patterned ducks in Japan. I'm pretty sure they have it as well in other places, but I guess I don't pay much attention. Anyways, so let's continue. So we're basically creating this audiobook because we felt that pain of like, why isn't there something out there that just I mean, you can look it up on YouTube and all that stuff, but I still feel like for me, I'd rather have like a set program that teaches you all the essential Japanese you need when you're traveling. And it is kind of essentials, so it's not going to be like a very, very extensive sort of guide. It is also my first real, I guess, product, so I'm trying to make it as best as possible. I have Japanese native speakers as the people who did the voiceover. I actually got that done already, and technically we need one more person that is a Japanese native speaker to record, but I want to make sure that it's actually native speakers doing the dialogue. And for me, I will do, I think, 1 or 2 chapters. There's 12 chapters in total. I've already outlined the whole thing in terms of the dialogue exchanges, but I want to do 2 of them because they have meaning for me personally, and I'm gonna verify, did I say everything correctly? Does this sound natural? I'll ask my native friends, Japanese native speaker friends, whether or not, yeah. And then I'll keep redoing the voiceover until it sounds natural, basically. So it should be okay to have me speaking a few of the Japanese dialogue, especially since I've been here for a while and speaking Japanese for a while as well. So, and when I say a while, I basically mean like a year. But yeah, honestly, it is a hard language to learn. I don't think anyone can get like super fluent within 1 year if you're coming from English. If you're coming from like maybe Korean, because I've heard that Korean people learn Japanese really fast because the languages have a lot of similarities in terms of structure and even some like vocabulary terms. I kind of need the restroom. Okay, but yeah, it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm going on a lot of tangents. But that's basically the project that I have going on, and let's try to get it done as soon as possible. We're gonna make it as best as we can, and you know, it's gonna take work. And a part of me is kind of like afraid in some way. I don't know why. It's maybe because I am considering it my first real product, and there's some mental baggage that comes with that. I'm just like, oh man, can I do this? But I've done so many voiceovers, and I've done so many like editing for voice stuff. I know so much about microphones. I have a Skillshare class about that. And I'm just like, I can do this. I have everything I need to do this. So let's do it. And let's end with this shot right here. It's very nice. There's, I think, tulips up there and some sakura. All right, let's find a restroom too.